Closing. 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 Don't get them. Welcome to this interview. My name is Jalagun4. Please have a seat over here. Are you gonna have a seat or not? What are you waiting for? So, tell me about yourself. What do you bring to the table? Oh, you're a perfectionist and you're detail-oriented, huh? That is absolutely crazy. You're hired. That is how my interview went today. Went to a job interview in the morning today. Commissions are still open for the time being, but they might not be for very long anymore. So now is your last chance to grab, because I might start working again. What are we working with today? That is the question in all of our heads right now. So let's take a peep. Why is this a word? Take a peep. It sounds like take a piss or take a peen. It just doesn't sound right. Please remove this from the English alphabet. Thanks. I apologize because I'm horrible at explanations, but what I would like as a piece from you is a drawing of my original video game character from Final Fantasy 15. I would like a piece of them in a combat scene using their weapons to shield themselves from an incoming blow. They are a shield healer main in the game, so it can be a magical barrier or the weapons blocking the attack. I can provide a reference of a pose if you are unable to figure out something fun for yourself. The weapons are newliths, 4 floating little blade things that are like from a sci-fi space genre. I can provide in-game reference of the weapons he uses, or you can come up with your own style if that better suits you. So basically, fantasy character in a fight, his weapons or his magical shield blocking an attack coming at him. I will let you decide what kind of attack it can be, or give you examples of things in the game that he would be fighting. Can be something physical or something magical. Shields reflect all the stuff. Yeah, that was interesting. No, that was cool. So like a guy in a black and white checkered outfit with horns and black and white hair doing like a shield. And like, yeah, I couldn't really understand what the deal is with the floating blade thingy. So I had like a little bit of a conversation with this guy. They sent me a whole bunch of references of the character from different angles. An arena the fight could be taking place at. The arena is like floating in space. So that's cool, it's easy, I don't actually have to make it look physically, I mean I have to get the perspective right, but that's like kinda it. They sent this little sketch for reference for me, which is exactly what I need. So it eliminates all the questions. It's not my character, I don't play the game, I don't know what the goal is, so this type of thing is good to send over. Everything could have been summarized with this from the start, I think. Yeah. Let's run the timer. I had all the reference material, so let's go. Starting out with the 3D model as I've grown accustomed to. Like this 3D figure is my new best friend. Like I spend more time interacting with this figure than with real people recently. But yeah, basically I added this grid thingy around him to get a better sense of the perspective and started sketching on top. Starting with the outfit, because the outfit is a key component of the character. We need to get that black and white pattern right on him and get those emo boots, kind of an emo character in general, but that's Final Fantasy for you, I think. I've never played any Final Fantasy games myself, but I've seen a lot of pictures, videos, and the character designs are very recognizable. Although this is like an original character from the game. I have no idea what the franchise actually looks like. So can you make your own character? I assume because I'm drawing somebody's original character. But it also has like characters from like a storyline. Yeah, I have no idea what I'm talking about. Just drawing out all the details of the outfit, making all the buttons and the stitches and everything as accurate as I can while trying to maintain the flow of the pose, like the twisting motion throughout the torso. Like, so it's facing this way at the top and like this way at the bottom. So like middle line of the uniform is actually a good signifier of that. Yeah, there were like little buttons and patches on the outfit which I would draw out with the symmetry tool to just warp onto there, so I would be able to like reuse this and copy paste it into multiple areas of the outfit because it was like reoccurring. So you gotta be smart like that and reuse some elements. I was unsure about the face, like he looks very weird in the face. There was like some weird stuff going on with the the beard or like the facial hair or whatever, like reptilian parts are growing out of his face, I think. But yeah, more of these patches, and just drew out 4 different ones this time, just referencing them off of the character sheet and pasting them over the uniform and like warping them to match the perspective. It's actually taken me 1.5 hours already. I have no idea how this happened, but I guess just I wanted to get like a clean line art so I have a clear idea when I go into rendering of what's gonna happen. Now, the main elements of the character sketch were done, so I went into 3D and made like a horn, because that would be difficult to, like the twisting of it would be difficult to get right in perspective. So I imported the 3D horn and placed them over the character to get the perspective correct. A little trick there, a little cheat code, because I couldn't be bothered to think in perspective like that. But time to whip up like a draft for the shield in front of him. It had like a very specific pattern on it as well, but I would just leave it as like a draft thingy for now. I wanted the middle part of the shield to be like kind of transparent, so the main pattern would be on the sides so that the character wouldn't be too obscured by it. But it also needs to be in front of him to signify that he's actually protecting himself with something in front of him physically, so it wouldn't be just on the side of him. I don't know. Maybe I could have chosen like a more of a side angle where there's not so much stacking going on with like elements in front of one another. Shield could have been here and the character over here or something like that. But yeah, I sent this to the client for review. So basically I asked him what type of magic it could be like that is being deflected with the shield and other feedback. So let's see what they said. Shield looks great. Little feature adjustments though. The horns are too far up on the head. The tips come to be like horizontal with the mouth. Also, there are little nose scales and you would probably see a part of his tail at that angle stick up and out in the back. And honestly, the attack that is deflected doesn't matter. You fight a lot of different things in the game, so I want you to have fun with it. And his weapons, the little floating blade thingies, they can be making the shield or they can be shooting little lasers back at whatever is casting the attack. So yeah, the purpose of the little blade thingies was like a little unclear to me before, like, but apparently they have like multiple functions. They can be a part of the shield creation. And yeah, I proceeded with the feedback, changed the angle of the horns. Good thing I made them in 3D because I was just able to shift the angle downwards and trace over them again. And yeah, that's a little cheat code. Learn 3D. That's the cheat code. And yeah, I added like the scales on the nose or whatever and proceeded with adding the remainder of the detail on the outfit. Like it had like a lot of patches and little details on the outfit that I should replicate. But yeah, I think it's time to add the blade thingies. Basically, I did like a little tracing of what the general shape is like so I'd get a better idea of what to do in 3D and hopped over to Blender to basically just make a quick rough model to match with this shape I just mentally inserted into my head. A diamond shape at the top and like weird twisty thingies in the middle, like more diamond shapes in the little intersections of it. And yeah, I just imported that into the scene and made them pointing upwards and inserted them into the corners of where the shield would be. So it would be like a square that he's standing in the middle of. The blade thingies are all around him, pointing upwards, making the magical shield. And yeah, it's time to actually make the proper shield pattern now. So I took a screenshot that they sent me of the shield and set up like a symmetry ruler thing so it would be easy to trace over 1/4 of it, which would just automatically make the pattern repeat on all sides. And yeah, it was a pretty simple process to get the detailed shield pattern up like that. Made the middle part of it a little more transparent so the character's face and outfit details wouldn't be so obscured, and I was able to start coloring from this point on with 2 hours remaining on the timer. And I thought this would be enough time to set everything up, get a little bit of rendering in as well, so we should be good to go. Let's speed through the coloring now. Alright, after coloring a little bit I remembered I was supposed to add like a tail as well, so I did that quickly. And yeah, time to do like a little shading pass. I thought the rim light would be necessary here to create a strong contrast with the background, so I made that with like some lasso selections because the contrast of the shield in front of him would be obscuring many parts. So we need high contrast with the background to bring the silhouette out, because there will be something else in front of the character. A strong rim light like that will help in making the focus be on what's behind the shield again. Yeah, just a blue light that comes from in front of him, from the shield, that will need to be done properly. Just trying to make the front-facing areas brightest, and everything that's facing this way is getting lit, but when forms are starting to turn up or starting to turn down, then they don't get as much blue light. I hit the colors as usual to get like a detailed view of what I'm doing, to think like a sculptor, to get them forms popping, to blend some areas out on the face and get like that appeal back in there. It's one thing to get the forms like looking accurate, but it's another thing to make it actually look appealing and like not lose the style in the process, because that's easy to lose if you're like get stuck in trying to make things look realistic. But anyway, once that was done and an hour was left on the timer, I thought it would be cool to use a little technique here to grab a screenshot of a fight in the game on the arena that the client wanted, and I took a screenshot of it. However, it had like very strong perspective to it, so I needed to like unwrap it onto like a square somehow. Just made some manual corrections later while painting over it, and painted over the characters in the middle, and just took one corner of it and duplicated that 4 times to get like a perfectly symmetrical thing. Then I AI upscaled it because the texture was low quality. Then I had to like match it with the floor again, and I would not be able to do that by like taking the corners and pinning them into perspective in 2D. So there was another tool I had to use, like F-Spy for Blender. I was gonna match the perspective of this scene and bring this data into Blender and basically put the floor texture as like a plane on the ground, so it would be like very expansive, and it would be impossible to do this in 2D. But yeah, that's how I got the floor down there. But yeah, I brought this back into clip and started painting in the rest of the background, like the colors in the back, like the purple space stuff, and like just a bunch of gradients. You see, I don't really need to do anything else with the background, just need to put like some soft brushing back there. That's kind of it, to be honest. And yeah, time to like make the shield come alive more, just painting some glow effects over it, and just tried out what it would look like if I were to draw some beams over it. And I made a copy of the shield, put it behind him, so it would look like it's almost like a square around him, which is a cool look. It just increases the sense of perspective and depth a little bit more, gives us a better idea of what the camera angle actually looks like, because there are no physical elements other than the character and the shield going on that would indicate depth and perspective. But yeah, timer's running low. I thought I'd take the time to render the character out a little bit more, because it's a crucial part of the process. I mean, it's crucial for the client to have their character protagonist to be well rendered, you know what I'm saying? So basically just went in there, added some highlights and other details to the character, tried to render those little blade thingies out a little bit more. Add some cloudiness or like some mist to the background, which would add a little more interest to it and match the rim light color with what was going on in the back. And yeah, the timer was running out, and this is what we got with the original time limit. I made the shield glow a little bit more, make it come alive a little more. And yeah, that's kind of it. I didn't manage to draw a magical blast in the 5-hour frame. I did like, what, 20 minutes more as I usually do. Extra, but in my defense, the tier description is like has that squiggly symbol before the amount of hours, so it's like almost 5 hours. So basically I did the magical blast off camera, and this is what the final looks like. I don't know, man. This is a pretty straightforward commission. It's just a character doing a thing, a pose, and the magical attack. Like, not a lot of heavy, challenging elements. But I mean, yeah, I think the character looks like the character is supposed to look like. What can I say? Like, I hope your lunch was good, guys. Commissions are open, or they're closing immediately. Join the Patreon. Long unedited time-lapse of this drawing available on my second channel.
Check out my SoundCloud. What the hell?